I'm Shazana. Welcome to the USM Students Podcast. As for today, we will be having a critical discourse analysis on the topic of education in Sabah. We'll be focusing on the social context of approach, and I'm not alone on today's episode. I'll be having Jason and Farah who will be joining me in the discussion. So, hi, Jason and Farah.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, And yeah, so to kickstart our discussion, Jason, would you like to tell us a little bit about the issue that was really happening in the education of Sabah as mentioned in the article?
Yes, of course. First off, thank you for having me here today. I'm honored to be here. So, the article that we are looking at today, titled Almost Half of Schools in Sabah Are Deaf, is focusing on the issue of the inadequate state of the education department and its facilities in Sabah. The article highlights the desperate need for better furniture and facilities in Sabahan schools to provide a suitable learning environment for all its students. One which is capable of providing them with the opportunity for upward social mobility. It comes from the perspective of the Warisan Party, criticizing the current federal government.
Wow, okay, thank you for the short summary of the text, Jason. Next, Farah, can you give us who are the social actors in the article and what are the linguistic features that maybe you can share with us in your point of view?
Hello. First and foremost, I would like to say that I am honored to be here. And so, regarding the question, for the social actors, two that I can identify in the article are the Warisan and the federal government. Under Warisan, there are social actors like Shafi'i Abdal and Jennifer Lasimbang. While under the federal government of Sabah and Sarawak, there is Dr. Maximus Ongkile. In the article, the Warisan social actor play a role as the us, while the federal government of Sabah and Sarawak social actor play a role as the them. And we can identify this through the use of linguistic features, such as the use of pronouns like we, us, our. For the Warisan social actor, while the he, him for the federal government of Sabah and Sarawak. I would like to stress that the us and them narrative here is important to be highlighted, as the us and them show a clear opposing view of the us Warisan and them the Minister of Sabah and Sarawak Affairs.
Ah, I see. Thank you for that. Is a very interesting analysis on the article. So, Jason, would you like to share your thoughts on the social actors in the articles?
Yes, so in my opinion, there's another perspective called the self and other narrative being presented in the article. The self here is in reference to Warisan, and as for the other, there are actually two sides to this. There is the radical other as well as the friendly other. The radical other here refers to the current federal government, which is being criticized by Warisan for not doing enough for the people of Sabah. Individuals such as the Federal Minister of Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Dr. Maximus Ongkili, and BN Sabah. On the other hand, the friendly other that can be seen in the text is the ex-PH government, whose goals are in line with that of Warisan, which is to provide a comfortable learning environment for all students of Sabah. The self and other narrative here highlights the values that are associated with the self and friendly other, as well as the opposing values that are associated with the radical other.
I see. So these are the social actors that we can see in the article. And I actually read the article a little bit before meeting you guys. And I noticed that there was a lot of evaluation being done for both sides. And maybe Farah, you can share with us your analysis on this?
Okay, for evaluation from the article, I can identify that the Warisan is being positively evaluated throughout the whole text. This can be seen through the textual evidences such as securing the allocation of RM 100 million in 2019 to repair to 24 Sekolah Daif and another RM 445 million in 2020 under RMK-11 involving 61 Sekolah Daif to ensure Sabahan school children will receive better standard of education, ensure that these schools continue to produce talented students. Warisan want all our schools in the state to become a wonderful place for our school children. Place education as its priority. The Warisan Party party positively evaluates itself to present itself as the one who truly cares for the people of Sabah, drawing on their past achievements for the state in terms of funding for the educational department. This positive evaluation is necessary to present a positive image of the party to win over the votes of the people.
Thanks, Farah, for sharing that with us. And however, I noticed that you only mentioned positive evaluation so far, and I am sure there were negative version done as well. And maybe Jason, would you like to share your finding for this?
Hi, so as Farah already pointed out, there are multiple positive evaluations for the Warisan Party, which comes as no surprise since the article is based on their perspective. The negative evaluation found in the text is mainly about the current federal government. For example, they are mentioned to be spending too much time talking on trivial issues, neglecting more important matters, and wasting time. These negative evaluations highlight the lack of enthusiasm and vigor of the current minister towards solving the real issues in Sabah, which is the poor state of the educational facilities in the state. In fact, the article further emphasizes on the poor state of the schools, such as students having to use water from wells, the rusted roofing causing water leakages when it rains, students having to endure hot conditions because of non-functioning fans, and even having to sleep on the floor without beds in inhabitable hostels. These quotes taken from the text shows the negative evaluation in the text and presents a clear look at the accomplishments, or rather, the lack of by the current minister in charge of Sabah and Sarawak affairs, Dr. Ongkili, for the people of Sabah in terms of educational means.
Right. So we can see that both of the positive and the negative evaluation has a very great influence on the portrayal of social actors in the text. These evaluations certainly effectively divide these two social actors into the us and them all, self and other faction. For the article also I noticed there's more linguistic evidence that is going on the micro level, for example in terms of modality. And maybe Farah you can share more with us on that.
Okay, when discussing about the modality, there are modal verbs that can be seen to be used that further enhance the view of the article, such as the modal verb will, which is used a lot by Warisan to show their promise and what they will contribute if they are given the chance. And such modality can be seen to be put in use in lines like that the party will continue to play its part to ensure Sabahan school children will receive better standard of education. Warisan will continue to place education as its priority. We will re-establish this ministry if the Sabahans are agreeable to return back the mandate to us. From these lines, we can observe that the modality helped in establishing a positive image for the Warisan.
I agree with you, Farah, that the usage of this model will industry clearly bring out the positive image of the Warsan. But on the current government, how does the modality is being used? Maybe Jason, you can share with us on that.
Hi, so in terms of further linguistic evidence on the article, we can see that the modal verb should is often used in the article in reference to Dr. Onkiri to highlight what he has not been able to do for Sabahans and thus presenting the negative image for him and the current federal government. For example, the quotes, Onkiri should not waste any more time on talking about the 17 points or Lingitan and that he should stop bragging here and there about the 21 points of MA 63 as if he were a novice politician. The use of the modal verb here highlights the inadequacies of the current Minister of Sabah and Sarawak Affairs and therefore presents him in a negative light. The negative evaluation serves to downplay the reputation of the minister and his political party in an attempt to win over the support of the people.
Wow, thank you, Jason, for pointing that out. And yes, I also feel like this article is throwing shade to the current government, as we can see on how the modality is being used to describe them. Now, at the micro level, we have already covered the social actors in the text, where we have the Federal Minister of Sabah Sarawak and Warisan. Warisan is portrayed positively as the us or self in the article, while the Federal Minister of Sabah and Sarawak is portrayed negatively as them or other. These can be seen through different use of linguistic feature like pronouns, modality, and also the evaluation of the social actor. Also, the PH government in the text is the friendly other, while the current federal government is clearly the radical other in the text. And with all of the other, we can move on to the next level, which is the meso level analysis of the article. And I think when it comes to the master level of SCA and analysis, it is important for us to know about the speaker and the receiver, all the people who involved in the communication, the text. Therefore, I have a question for Farah. Maybe you can share with us, in your opinion, based on the article, who is communicating and to whom is the text directed?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Shazana. In the article, it is clear that the one who is communicating is a journalist, and the article is written by them and is also posted under Borneo Post Online, an English news site in Borneo. I would like to add that the article is pro-Warisan as it's mainly reporting from their perspective. As for who is the communicator trying to communicate with, that will be the people of Sabah and Sarawak, the public who are influential in the elections, perhaps the voter.
Okay, that is very good point of view. And Jason, maybe you can add a bit on Farah's point, your point of view. What is the text is all about, and also like, does the articles is for a particular audience only?
In my opinion, the text is mainly about Warisan criticizing the current minister's negligence towards the education of Sabah. All this is done while promoting their own manifesto and social goals should they be allowed to regain control of the state, with the promise that they will be able to contribute much more to Sabahans, especially in the educational sector, which is clearly in need of financial aid. It's all about political influence and undermining political rivals. Regarding your other question, I believe that the text is designed for a particular audience, which is the people of Sabah. The issue is designed especially for them, as can be seen from the mention of the specific story state of the schools there, highlighting the plight of the students who suffer throughout the education years.
Right, that is a very valuable insight from both of you, and I agree that the article does present two social actors, as you have mentioned, based on the method level analysis of the article. And my final question for both of you: in your view, is there any ideology that we can extract from the article? Maybe Farah, you can go first.
Okay, in terms of ideology, I think it's pretty clear that the ideology being served in the article is Warisan is a party who is responsible and cares for their people's needs. In this particular case, their education. While on the other hand, the current federal government is the radical other, who does not take their duty seriously and results in the poor situation people of Sabah is facing right now.
Wow, okay, so lastly, Jason, can you add a little bit about the ideology or perception presented in the text?
On a macro level, I think that the article presents a clear us versus them narrative based on the ideology that the government should be doing much more to ensure that the young of today are able to receive the best possible education in preparation for them to lead the country in the future. The article is politically motivated, but it clearly highlights the wider social concern for the people of Sabah, which should be taken into consideration. This ideology is important to the article as it presents the core social issue that is currently affecting the people of Sabah.
Okay, thank you for the insight, both of you. I do agree with the ideology and believe that you guys have shared. Hence, without us realizing, we are already done looking at all the three level of SCA. And what I have come to conclude is that at the meso and micro level, the pattern shown in the article is that the current state of education in Sabah is inadequate and needs a lot of changes. The article also highlighted the changes that is necessary to be done by the social actor for the improvement of the quality of education in Sabah. Not just that, it was proven that the article is being biased and a bit political, as it presented one party as the positive and the other side of as negative. As both of you have mentioned, one side of the party is highlighting the accomplishment while comparing themselves to how poor the other side of party at managing the situation that is happening in Sabah. And I think with all of that, that is all for today's episode of our podcast. Thank you so much, Jason and Farah, for joining me today. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.